Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Devils United. We're back again with another player profile series talking about Fernandez's time at Preston North End, and we have got Jack today. How are you doing, Jack?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I would say behind stage, I'm just jealous of your tan right now. I just wish I had the sun myself. So I'm looking forward to this one, just because I've been hearing a lot of great things about Fernandez.
Yeah, no, he's had a good loan spell with Preston North End. Took him time to get going, but towards the end, the second half of the season, we really saw him kind of come into his own. We saw the forefront of, we saw him bring the forefront of his game into the side, which was kind of getting him behind and overlapping, and his attacking qualities, which have been really impressive. And I guess what top clubs kind of look for nowadays are attacking fullbacks.
Absolutely. I'll just say hello to people who's in the chat. Good evening, Reese. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Just as Reese said, hit the like, share, subscribe. Hey there, Nippon. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. And hey there to my dad. Thank you for coming in. Hope you are well. Yeah, so Fernandez is currently in Preston. With Fernandez, did he automatically go into the squad, or did he get time to get his starting 11 role?
Well, it was an interesting one, really, because I think everyone kind of at the start of the season was like a bit confused as to why we signed him, because we'd just signed Robbie Brady as well. Obviously, he's a Republic of Ireland international and played many years in the Premier League with the likes of Burnley and Norwich City. And yeah, it did take Fernandez time to get into the side, because Robbie Brady was kind of a standout player. I thought he was our best player over the first 10 games, where I think we went on a run of 8 games with keeping clean sheets without scoring a goal. So we went on a really great run of form in terms of like stopping the opposition from scoring. But then Alvaro had a couple of games and he started to impress. And towards the end, he was our starting, well, you could say throughout the season, he was our starting left back. I mean, he started 27 games, but played 39. So I thought he kind of came into the team and kind of became one of the best players in the team. And as he's left this summer to go back to yourselves, I think there's a lot of North End fans, and myself included, which would really like to see him come back for another season next year.
Yeah. I've actually seen him linked to another season at Preston. I think probably it would be the best move, because we are looking at Fernandez in the unders. I think at the moment he's too good to be in the under 23s without a doubt. But I just think at the moment, with the competition in that left back role at Manchester United, it's still going to be very, very hard to get in. So I will probably say another loan spell will probably be best for him. If he wasn't gonna go to Preston, what other club do you think he may potentially suit?
I imagine another Championship club, or maybe one abroad. We've recently had Sepp van der Berg on loan from Liverpool, who again kind of played right centre back in the back five or right wing back, and he again was a really impressive defender. And then he's gone out and played abroad. I can't remember where he's gone actually. Sepp van der Berg. He's gone somewhere, but he's gone and played abroad. I think in the top division somewhere. So he's gone and kind of made that step up. And Alvaro probably could do the same. He's not going to go and play in the Premier League. He's not quite there yet. He needs another full season of professional football under his belt. I don't think he'll go into the Premier League and play for anyone just yet. But if he wasn't to come back to North End, it might be a similar situation to where we had Cameron Archer last year, or the season before, who was really impressive, and then last year went to Middlesbrough, a team with higher aspirations, higher budget, better players, better manager. And he's had a great season, Cameron Archer, and probably has put himself at the forefront of maybe a couple of Premier League teams that might be trying to sign him. So yeah, I think if he's not going to come to North End, he's probably going to go that one step further, maybe playing for just a better side in the Championship or a better side abroad.
Hey there to our Lumber, thanks for coming in, hope you are well. And hey there, Rather, thanks for coming in, hope you are well. Prime Nikita Paris, you're full of these compliments as well. My dad has asked, how many goals and assists did Fernandez get?
So I don't think he scored any goals. I think he got 4 assists. So he got 4 assists this season, which kind of surprised me when I saw that before when I was looking, because he seemed like he'd got more, because he was really good at getting those attacking positions and getting on that left side and whipping a ball in, or taking that instep touch and driving into the box. But you don't judge a defender purely off their stats, because there's so much more to the game for a fullback. And like I say, at the start of the season, I wasn't as keen on him as maybe a lot of North End fans were. I thought Robbie Brady was a better option, but as the season went on and on, it was hard to ignore him, and he was our best player in a lot of the games that we kind of went on a really good run in the lead up to what seemed like was going to be a playoff push before it all fell apart.
Hey there as well, Static. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. In terms of the fullbacks, I know he's played as a left fullback, but can he also play on the right as well, or is he just much better suited on the left?
We've never seen him at right back. I don't think. Maybe no. There's been a couple of times where we didn't have a right back, but Robbie Brady went and played on the right side. He's a very one-footed player. I think that's what's holding him back at the moment. Because he's never going to play for Man United if you're a one-footed player. You've got to be 2 feet to play at the elite level. So he's got to work on that right foot. So he's not really played as a left back this season. He's more played as a left wing back. So we played a back 5. So it's allowed him to get forward and get into those attacking channels. So he's that kind of modern day fullback that's probably their better strength. They're better at going forward than they are defending.
Would you probably say then he probably is better suited as a wing back than a fullback for you personally? Because the thing is especially at Manchester United, we always play the back 4. So if someone's going to play there as the left wing back role, I think it's going to be even more difficult to get into the squad.
Yeah. No, I think I won't pigeonhole him into just one position. I'm sure he can play left back. He's probably played left back for all the United sides when he's been younger. But I think he's particularly stood out at left wing back. But I think if you're a good player, you can play left wing back or left back. He shouldn't be narrowed down to the end of that one position. You're going to be a Premier League level footballer. You can't just play one position. You've got to play a couple positions, and you've got to have a few talents to yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and I do also believe if you are going to be a fantastic player, you need to have that bit of versatility, especially depending what club you are going to be going with, suiting the team better, suiting yourself a little bit better as well. Because I know some players just automatically suit themselves into that one specific role, don't they? Really?
Yeah, no, it's important to not pigeonhole yourself as just one player. I mean, there's so much that I think it's the influence of games like FIFA and Football Manager. It's like, he is a striker, he is a right winger, he can't play anywhere else. But then you see the likes of Joe Linton that's gone from striker to an unbelievable number 8 in central midfield, and he's now a Rolls Royce of a box-to-box midfielder for Eddie Howe's side. So players, especially if they're going to go to the top level, have got to be able to play a few positions.
Absolutely. Hey there, Andrew. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Yes, it is boiling. Like, I literally get to the point where I can feel tears in my eyes because it's getting too warm. I bet you're boiling as well, Jack.
I love the weather. I'll never complain at warm weather. I come out when it's warm, so I will never complain about it being too sunny.
I need the sun. I must be honest, I do need the sun so much. So, going on to Fernandez as well, because I know we've touched a little bit on about his attacking strengths. Do you think, how is he defensive ability wise as well? Is he also good defensively, or would you say that's somewhere that he can improve upon in the future?
Yeah, I think defensively, we've been a good side this season, North End. We've been a good defensive side, so it's contributed to that. He's not. I'm not saying he's just an attacking fullback, because he can defend, and he's good at making interceptions. I've got to start here, interceptions per game, 12 interceptions per game, which is very high numbers. Especially for a player that's just played on one channel, he's making a lot of interceptions per game there. Tackles per game, 18 per game. Clearances 21. So yeah, he has quite a few strings to his bow and arrow. So he's definitely good at defending as well. I didn't want to. I shouldn't have kind of mentioned that he was just purely an attacking option for us. He was actually also very good defensively as well. Perhaps not the levels of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's a top defender, but he does have that kind of fine balance of being a decent attacker and a decent defender.
Absolutely, and I've always said is, like, I know a lot of people look at attacking-minded fullbacks as the best type of fullbacks, but I look at the likes of Reece James, I look at the likes of Kieran Trippier, and think you need these days. For me, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we want one who can cross well, who can do this, who can do this," but I've always been one of them. I want both. Just it's because I think it gives that brilliant balance in the starting 11.
Well, if you're Manchester United, you have to have both. I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka could be a top defender for a lot of teams, but for Man United, a fullback should be able to defend and attack if that's what his role in the squad should be. And I think that's what Erik ten Hag would want a right back to be, or would want a left back to be. So, the simple thing is, when you're Manchester United, one of the biggest teams in the whole world, the biggest team in the country, you've got to have better players than players that are well limited.
Hey there, Jarvis. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Go Preston North End. 26-0. Record still stands. Go Invincibles. So another thing as well. How was Preston's season for you overall? Was it a successful season or?
I wouldn't say successful, because success is deemed off what trophies you get at the end of the season, really. Or deemed, I don't think 12th is a successful season, but I do think it's kind of where you'd expect Preston North End to be, and it's where we've been for 8 years now. We have slowly built our squad to a better team. I think we're getting trusted with better loanees. We've just brought in Calvin Ramsey from Liverpool to play next year. Young attacking right back. 19 years old, so we've got the likes of Freddie Woodman in goal, who's a very talented goalkeeper. We get interested, like I say, with the likes of Alvaro and Tom Cannon. We've got Josh Onoman midfield, Daniel Johnson. We've got good players, but there's teams with better sides than us. The likes of Burnley and Sheffield United, who came top 2, Middlesbrough, Watford, West Brom, Norwich. They should all be finishing higher than North End. They've got higher budgets. They pay more for players. So I would say North End are about 12th in terms of, if you look at the squad at the start of the season, where would you say that's side ranks? You'd say 12th, and we finished 12th. But a lot of North End fans they have every right to do so, get a bit bored and a bit frustrated. And a lot of time, I think I've been guilty with this, is coming back to North End fans and going, yeah, but can we do more? Can we do better than 12? Because that's the ability of our squad. But when you see the likes of Coventry and Luton making a playoff final, when they've got lower budget than us and on paper have a worse side than us in terms of the players they've recruited and where they've come from, then you've got to look at it and think, could we be going one step further? Could we be doing better?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think for me is you do. I think everyone's the same. You do want your squad to improve constantly, and I think for me this season, the Championship particularly, it's been a very interesting one, especially when everyone always predicts Norwich, West Brom, Watford always to do well, and you're seeing different teams like you mentioned, Coventry, Middlesbrough, Millwall was near enough in that in the playoffs as well. So I think it's been a very weird but interesting championship this season.
It's a championship we used to know. Over the past few years, it's become the parachute payment league, where the teams that have got the most recent parachute payments after coming down from the Premier League have gone on to do well. But in 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, it was a bonkers league where it was a lottery, and the likes of Luton and Coventry could surprise team and finish in the top 6. So it was refreshing to see a change of guard this year. It was refreshing to see Luton and Coventry at the start of this, in the climax of the final. Like you said, it was refreshing to see Millwall. I was hoping they would get playoffs. So yeah, no, it was a strange championship season, but it was one that I think was highly enjoyable for the neutrals.
So there's a few questions in the chat, and if anyone else has any questions, pop them in as well. My dad has asked, is it true Preston was the first team to win the double?
Correct. We were. I mean, I don't remember it from myself, but was it 1880? Oh, go on, look at my mistake. No, I think it was 1888, 1889 season. We won the league title as the Invincibles, and we won the FA Cup. So we won the first ever league title, the first ever First Division, and then we won the FA Cup, which has been going for.
And it's only Arsenal who talk about being invincibles, but not that they think about Preston also being invincibles as well. Did you like another one who actually went on loan from us to Preston was David Beckham, and from being from Preston, because I think he went there for being that more physical, wasn't he? Because I don't think David Beckham had that physicality before he became that top star, and I think that loan move from Preston really helped him as well.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, it was way before I was born. Well, 6 years before I was born. I'm 22. So, but yeah, he kicked on after that and scored that famous goal against Wimbledon. Was that on the opening day of the season? But he scored an incredible goal against Wimbledon, and then obviously that season where Alan Hansen wrote them off at Match of the Day and said you can't win anything with kids. And then the Class United 2 went and proved him wrong as they picked Newcastle United and Kevin Keegan to the title. So. Obviously, North End kind of helped out David Beckham
there. Exactly. So another one is from Rather. Thoughts on how the manager got the best out of Fernandez?
Just giving him minutes. You know, these young players, they need minutes on the pitch. They need a bit of trust. That the under-23 system, I don't believe in it if you're going to keep the player in under-23s, because you've got to get used to playing a different standard of football. It's completely different playing. You know, it literally is boys, and then it's from playing against boys to playing against men. And he gave him minutes. He got a consistent run in the team, and you know he stuck with him even when he was struggling at parts of the season. And yeah, I thought Ryan Lowe managed Alvaro Fernandez quite well. I think he's managed to Loney's quite well. During 18 months at North End.
I agree with that, and I think for me is when you're a young player, when you go on loan, you do want the minutes, and you're not going to improve upon as a player. You're not going to know your weaknesses. You're not going to know your strengths unless you are getting the right minutes and you're at that right club who is able to develop you. Because you see people going on loan not being beneficial. That may be because they don't suit the manager, just because they're not getting any time, or the club isn't for them. But yeah, I think for me, it's about the minutes and being at that right club as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to, these top teams have got to choose where their players go to carefully. North End, we're not going to chop and change managers. We're not going to be like Watford and have 4 managers in one season. We're kind of a stable home for someone to come to. You know, it has to be a disastrous season if it's the second manager. So, these Premier League teams have got to be careful with where they send out the players to. And I think North End, on the whole, have shown to be quite a good home for these young players to kind of get used to professional football.
I completely agree with that 100%. And loan deals as well, sometimes they could do the best for a lot of different players. That's how they can become great players, world-class players, and sometimes it can help them from getting even better moves. Because I'm not too sure how much you've watched of other clubs, but you're looking at Hannibal, who I touched on in my last one, and now he's being linked to Borussia Dortmund. I think even stuff like that can really help on loan spells.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Hannibal's obviously got the added advantage as well that he's been playing for Tunisia in the World Cup, and he's got a bit of bigger name about him. He's kind of got that star, and he's not a star, but he's got that star quality about him, because he's got this big long hair, and people know it's Hannibal. It's a cool name, and he's a bit of a fiery character as well. I watched him a couple of times for Birmingham this year. He's a good midfielder. He's not Man United quality just yet, but Borussia Dortmund is probably not a better team to go to if you're a young player nowadays. And Jude Bellingham's just proved that, hasn't he? Come from Real Madrid in 3 years.
I know, he's an absolute outstanding player, and I remember Andrew in the chat saying Jude Bellingham could even potentially be England's captain one day. He has that mentality in him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've still got Harry Kane, who's going to be there for a couple of years now. You've got Declan Rice, who will be probably the next captain of England. But yeah, Jude Bellingham could probably, he could definitely. I mean, hopefully, he's going to be leading England out and winning top trophies with us for a long time.
Hey there, Niall. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. And hey there to my favourite Darlington fan. Thank you for coming in. Hope you are well, Ian. So another question from Rather. What is Fernandez's injury record like?
I don't remember him being injured at any point. He might have had he's not had a big injury, so that's obviously a big bonus. As far as I'm aware, well, definitely no offend, he hasn't had a big injury, so big bonus is it for a young player that are not getting that setback so early on in their career. So yeah, no, I think there's nothing to be concerned about on that front.
And let's see. And a question for my dad: would you put Fernandez as Preston's Player of the Season? Did he win an award? I'm sure he did, didn't he?
He won the Young Player of the Season award. I didn't vote for him. I went for Tom Cannon, who had only been with us for half season, but I just thought Cannon's impact, who came from Everton in January, I thought his impact, and I think he scored 8 or 9 goals, was a big difference because he kind of got us on a real good run of form. But Fernandez probably deservedly won it because he was there the whole season. In terms of actual Player of the Season, he's probably I'd probably have him about 5th or 6th. I think he's still been a top player, but the goalkeeper Freddie Woodman's been a quality, reliable pair of hands. Jordan Story's been a fantastic stopper at the back. Ched Evans has been a workhorse as always up top. So yeah, no, but Alvaro still had a very good season.
Yeah, it sounds like he has had a good season anyway so far. So, well, I'm saying so far like it's still a season, but yeah, it sounds like he has had a good season. And I think probably the loan spell will do the world of favours for him as well. Jarvis has had a question for you on what happened to Preston at the end of the season. They were in the race for the playoffs.
We couldn't win. We couldn't win a football game. As simple as that, really. We couldn't win. We got in a really good position. We went on a really good run of form, and then last five. We got 1 point from the last 5. We played 5 teams that were either in and around us or above us, and we only got the 1 point away against Blackburn. So yeah, it kind of fizzled out for us, but it seems to be the story of most of our seasons.
I think the thing is, especially in the Championship, it's so intense, and the level of games, especially knowing that there was some games where it's been postponed. Once you get a postponed game in the Championship, I think it just becomes very hard and too intense personally, and especially when you've got the team. I'm not saying Preston don't, but when you don't have the squad depth, it can potentially ruin you as a team, and I'd personally say.
Yeah. I don't think we've had too many postponements this season, if any. Did we have any postponements? I can't remember. Obviously, you get your postponements when it's international break, but everyone does. But I think we were quite lucky that we didn't have any called off due to weather or anything. I can't remember us having a postponement, but yeah, like you say, bang on that it can kind of set you back a bit.
Yeah, that's just the only problem, isn't it, really? My dad has asked who would be your dream signing.
Lionel Messi.
So are you Messi over Ronaldo then, I'm guessing?
Well, Messi's the best player to have played football. So I mean, well, he's the best player at the moment in the world, maybe bar Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne. I'd probably say those are the top 3. So it's a shame that Messi's going off to Inter Miami, but yeah. Dream signing, realistic signing. We could get Tom Cannon on back on loan for a year or 2. He was superb for us on loan from Everton last year.
I think Everton need him right now with the way they're going on, and maybe with Sean Dyche, I think he'll probably be looking at him in particular in pre-season, especially with all these FFP situation going on at Everton. They might need to keep some of the players they've got.
Yeah, absolutely. Surely, Sean Dyche, he's been playing a 4-1-4-1 whilst he's been there at Everton, but we know from his time at Burnley he loves a 4-4-2, so surely he's going to pack the team with plenty of attackers.
Yep, and Ian has asked, do you remember Sean Gregan? Am I pronouncing that right?
Gregan.
Yep.
Sean Gregan was, I think he played for North End the year I was born, so I don't remember watching him play. But I've read many books of him, and my dad and other people in my family or friends who are a bit older than me have spoken very fondly of Sean Gregan. I think he went on to West Brom after us. He was a bit of a Rolls Royce of a midfielder, from all accounts.
Yeah, I wouldn't know of him either, to be honest. I don't think I'm actually that much older than yourself, to be fair. I think probably a year older or so. So I won't have a clue how he'd play either. I'll finish off this question from Reese. What's your proudest moment today as a Preston fan?
Probably when we won the League One playoffs. Either that, when we won the League One playoffs, or, which was fantastic with each win, then we got into the Championship. We've been in the Championship for 8 years now. Or, slightly different angle to take is a player went on to be England's number one goalkeeper just 18 months after playing for us, maybe even just a year after playing for us. Jordan Pickford played for us for 6 months, was the best player I've ever seen at Deepdale, was unbelievable at North End. And then obviously went back to Sunderland, got recalled, was unbelievable for Sunderland. That summer got bought by Everton for 30 million. And I'm probably not doing him justice, within 6 months or a year, he was England's number one and has been ever since. And in my lifetime, that's just a proud moment. It's probably similar to how people of an older age were proud when David Beckham went on to play for England and probably become one of the most famous people worldwide.
My dad has asked, when was Preston's last trophy? Was it the playoff one?
If you count the playoffs as a trophy, yeah, I guess so. Otherwise, you're putting me on the spot. I think we won the League One title at one point. Probably won the League One title. In terms of major trophies, it'll have been the FA Cup probably about 70 years ago. Way before my lifetime. I should have done more research. Be put on the spot.
Oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll wrap it up from here. It's been great hearing about Fernandez, and I really appreciate you coming on as well.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Would you like to shout out your socials? I don't know if you have a YouTube channel or anything, but if you want to shout out any socials you've got.
Well, my Twitter tag is the name here. Right here. Let's get that right.
Yeah.
Jack Goodwin 2001. I am a journalist, so I do a bit of commentary and work for I don't know if you heard it, Greatest Hits, Manchester, Rock FM, etc. So keep up to my date on socials there. I'd appreciate it, but I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, I put your Twitter handle in the description anyway, so if anyone wants to give you a follow, they can do too. With myself, I will be next live tomorrow for a transfer show, keeping up them weekly. As I say, Jack, I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time. So thank you all very, very much. Thank you again, Jack. Have a lovely evening all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.